Hey, what's that movie about the witch?
The Blair Witch Project?
Man, you're so good at these.
I am. Haven't seen that in forever.
Your whole crew, Ben Collin and Nels got some movie buff too. It came out in 97, didn't get any better. Well, let's check anyways. I haven't seen that in forever.
Welcome into episode 15 of Haven't Seen That in Forever. How we doing, guys?
15.
Is that a good aye?
Oh, yeah.
What if we did episode 17 first?
Okay. What is the movie for episode 17?
I don't know.
I
We
don't
probably
remember.
should have done this movie for 13, to be honest.
We should have.
Because then we could call it 14 and it wouldn't be as scary.
It would be an empty floor.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to our other episodes.
Yeah,
for
actually,
our humor.
When hotels say 14 and there's no 13, they actually have a 13. It's just completely empty. They're just hemorrhaging money on it.
I don't blame them. It's a dying industry anyway. Well, this week we are going to do our very first horror movie, which is, I remember, your least favorite genre, correct, Colin?
I mean, typically, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Nels, you and I have bonded over horror over the last handful of years.
Yes, I am a horror hound.
Me too.
I hound the horrors.
We share horror movies with each other all the time that are good, that we enjoy, that we think the other one will enjoy as well.
And also crappy ones, because those are fun too.
Yeah, those are fun. So this week we're doing 1999's The Blair Witch Project. Is this your first time seeing this movie?
No.
You'd seen this before.
Yes.
Okay.
First and last time I saw this movie was in a philosophy of film class in college.
Really?
It was. We met bi-weekly for a year, and each session would cover, maybe it was tri-weekly, I don't know. But we would cover a different topic. We would have philosophical readings, an assigned movie that you could either watch with people out of class in a big like auditorium, or you could watch on your own. And then you had to pick a movie that you'd watch. You'd have a discussion, one about the entire movie, like that you all watched, and then you'd write a like paper or something about the one that you watched, bringing in all those topics. So this was probably one of my first and biggest entries into horror. And I actually went back, found my old college notes on Blair Witch Project, found the readings that I was assigned,
man.
Dug up the archives.
reread them, and have some thoughts on it.
Wow.
But I have not watched it since then.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Nels.
I saw this in the theater when it came out. I was 17. And we'll get into the marketing and everything about it, but I thought this was real. So
That was the whole point.
I bit hard. I was like, oh my God, this is a real thing. We need to go watch it. Me and my friend Brian went and were terrified. We thought this was a real thing that happened. And then we were smart enough to watch this about 3 days before we went camping.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we go camping. It's me and Brian, and then my parents, my mom and stepdad, and it stormed.
Oh boy.
Bad, like dumping rain. Our tent, me and Brian were sharing a tent, was at the bottom of a slope, so it flooded.
Was it like a flood zone? Were you worried?
No. But
Okay.
it was at the bottom of the slope, so all the water was running down. So we have to go sleep in the station wagon.
Safer.
Well, drier. We didn't think it was safer. We thought we were going to die because the Blair Witch was going to come get us.
Oh boy.
And so we, the first night, like we barely slept. The lightning was coming down. We were laying with our heads at the back of the station wagon so we could see out the back window.
Were you able to like put like the seats down so you could like fully?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lightning was so bright and flashed like it'd blind you. And then it struck a tree maybe 20 feet away from us.
Oh,
We heard it. Brian he had to go to the bathroom so bad.
oh, you're holding it.
Nope. He peed in a Ziploc bag. He threw it out the door.
Oh, Brian. Oh, I love
Shout out to
that.
Brian. Hope you're hearing this.
Brian, we'd love for you to come on the show and talk about
Quick
this.
question.
Please.
Were either one of you at all tempted to maybe pile a few rocks? Like next to the car?
so
did that thought cross one of your minds that
Here's the
this
thing.
would really mess
We'll
with
get
that?
into that because I want to know your thoughts on whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll get to that.
My parents said they didn't see it, but they lied. And my stepdad made the little stick figures and hung them around.
No, he didn't.
No.
Yes, he did.
And at this point, you in your mind not only believed, but you knew that they had not seen this.
Yes.
So when you saw those figures,
And we heard there was people, a couple campsites down the way. We could hear them like, I don't know, they were singing, but they were kind of like chanting.
This is diabolical.
It sounded like.
This is diabolical.
It was rough. We listened to Third Eye Blind CD on loop.
I wish you was.
Yes. We listened to that CD.
I don't know that Jumper is what you want to be listening to at
Like
that point because
4
you're
or
like,
5
I'm going to
times.
jump.
That's,
I would much rather jump.
I think that CD saved our lives. I'm just going to say it.
my
goodness.
God.
Brian went home and slept for like 18 hours because we did not sleep for like 3 days.
That's
hardly
insane.
at all.
3? Oh, this wasn't a one night thing.
No, it was like a weekend thing.
How?
Wow.
So, 2 more follow up questions. Sorry.
Yeah.
How incredibly grateful were you when the sun came up and you were okay the first day?
The first day was fine, but I was like, well, night's going to come
Follow
again.
up though, that second night where you're like, we should have left.
It was bad. It was rough.
God.
That is
So-
quite the prank to pull on you too.
It was.
Oh,
Wow.
Is he a prankster?
My
Your
stepdad?
stepdad? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's totally something he would do. So
Oh.
I think he copped to it. Maybe the third night he copped to it. He's like, finally, like, okay, obviously we saw it, you idiots.
I'd like to make it
Blair Witch isn't after you.
we were in 2 rows behind you guys.
Yeah.
We drove you to the movie theater.
I'd like to make it very well known to you 2 co-hosts right now. Jess can attest to this. I will react very poorly to that and violently. If someone tries to jump scare me, I'm probably
So none of it
going
wasn't
to
jump
assault.
scares. It was
No.
all that kind of creepy stuff you see in the movie.
I understand, but if that happened,
He didn't like come and
I
jump
would-
on the car and start shaking it or anything like that.
I'm just saying if those were outside of my tent, then
We're
like
leaving.
it is not going to be a pretty picture. I'm not like being talked down. I'm not being talked off the ledge. I'm yeeting shit into the car.
Yeet.
We are absolutely out of there. If someone just tries to say, no, it's just a prank, then it gets violent.
I have
No,
some-
we're done.
I have some very bizarre experiences after watching scary movies. We can get to them as we get through them, I'm sure, but
Let's do
that
it.
is just one of a few.
Well,
And
that's
you
wild.
like scary movies.
I do.
After, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
No, you're fine. This is not the first time I've seen it. I saw it in theaters as well. I was a little bit younger than Nels, so I was even more convinced that this was real. However, I did not go camping after seeing this.
The camping trip was on the books already. It's like we saw
No,
it. Like,
of
let's go
course.
camping
Sure,
now.
Sure.
In Vermont.
Maryland.
Oh.
Maryland. Close.
There's 4 things Maryland does:
My-
crab cakes, football,
The-
something else,
the Blair
and
Witch
the
Project.
Blair
See,
Witch.
my usual logic for not being scared of a scary movie is like, Friday the 13th stuff happens. That's like in New Jersey. I don't have to worry about that, right? Freddy Krueger, that's in Ohio. Who cares about that? Texas Chainsaw's in Texas. Nobody's down there. I'm not down there. Michael Myers, he's in Illinois. Don't have to worry about that. I should have followed my general logic of this happened in Maryland. I'm way out here in California. I don't need to worry about it. but I didn't.
Clearly.
She can't even travel that far. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
That's got to be exhausting.
She
for
can't
her.
afford a plane ticket.
No.
No.
Sticks to her woods.
That being
That's right.
said,
Sticks
I've
to
been in
her woods.
Manhattan and I was ready for Jason to be there at any point
Yeah.
in time.
Did he
because
show up at the last 5 minutes of your trip there? Like in the movie?
And boxed
At
somebody.
the clearly Canadian diner where they're all wearing flannel and they're like, oh, hey there, buddy. Are you here for
Hey, welcome to New
Saskatchewan and New York?
That's my favorite Jason
Oh,
movie.
I
by the way.
love it. It's so
great.
bad. I love
We
it.
might
so
talk
good.
about that one. I don't know if we'll talk about the first one. That might be too iconic, but the 8th one might
Honestly,
be good
we
enough.
might have to move in with each other for the whole month of October because we have so many movies.
What
to
are we
get
going to
to.
call October?
Not Scaretober, not Rocktober.
Actually, so I'm only going to pick rock and roll movies.
Hortober.
And I'm going to call it Rocktober.
Hortober.
I'm going to do Airheads. I'm going to do The Rockstar. No, what's that Marky Mark movie?
Do High Fidelity.
Just Rockstar.
Just Rockstar? Okay.
You do High Fidelity.
High Fidelity. Y'all are going to be picking like scary movies. And I'm like,
Rock of Ages.
Yeah. And I'm going to be doing This is Spinal Tap. And I'm like, wait, I thought we were doing Rocktober.
Thank you, Cleveland. Good night.
What's the one with Rex Manning Day?
I don't
Who?
know that name.
Who?
Empire Records.
Is that the John Cusack movie?
No? Well, you won't. Liv Tyler's in it. You'll hate it. Liv Tyler's in it.
will
You'll
watch
love
this
it, Colin.
movie
Ben will hate it.
Guys. If you go back and listen to The Rock, I think what I said was she does nothing for me when we were talking about Jade Angelou.
We were talking about Claire Forlani.
Yeah.
And I think
She
that both
was
of
much
them,
better looking.
those two are like elvish, ethereally
I don't
beautiful.
understand why them being an elf would be a good thing for me.
I feel like across all media, elves are just depicted as beautiful. Like Orlando Bloom is a beautiful man, and he's very elvish.
Okay. I've never given it much thought to the elf thing. I can agree that Orlando Bloom's
because they're
is a
in
good-looking
Lord of the
man.
Rings,
But he's
right?
not. He's
So they
not just a
play-
good-looking man. I think he's a pretty man. I wouldn't consider him like a handsome man.
Say I'm not a
I
pretty
think he's
guy?
a pretty man.
It's no pretty guy.
It still only counts as one.
Oh boy.
When's the first time you watched this?
You said it in the theater.
In the theater.
All right. So when's the last time you watched it?
Oh, before this.
Yesterday.
before
Well,
this.
No. Friday. What's
Oh.
today? Sunday? Before this, a couple weeks before that for the show. And I watched it again on Friday because I got my wife to agree to watch it.
When's the last time you watched it when you weren't preparing for the show?
Oh.
I think that's what he's asking.
A couple years ago, maybe
Okay.
Okay.
2 or 3 years ago.
I'm probably, oh man, I might have been like 10 years since I'd seen it.
You know.
I do revisit this movie quite a bit, and we'll get to why. But probably at least every 2 or 3 years I revisit it, if not more often. But the
Yeah.
last time before the show was probably 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So this movie came out July 30th, 1999. It originally was released at Sundance on January 25th, 1999, but its full release was July of that year. This is filmed in Seneca State Park in Burkittsville, Maryland. The town is real. The Blair Witch mythology is not.
I kind of was wondering if Burkittsville was made up.
It's real.
I know the town's real.
Yeah.
I'm umming about the Blair Witch not being real. I still am not convinced.
Maybe she is, maybe she's not, but we'll see.
If y'all tune in next week and there's only 2 hosts of this show, then you know it's
Okay,
real.
we're in Minnesota, not
She
Maryland.
can't get here. So the directors and writers, it's a duo, written and directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. They actually wrote it in 1993 when they were film students. They are also writers and producers on the sequels of The Blair Witch, but not much else, honestly. They did some commercial work, some low-level movies, but nothing of substance.
Did they do the second one?
They wrote it and produced it. They did not direct it. Which the second one sucks really bad. Book of Shadows.
Not the best.
Did you watch the newest installation just
I did.
called Blair Witch? What'd you think of that one? It's better than Book of Shadows, but it's still not
it's got
good.
some good scares in it, but it's like,
It's still not good. So let's talk about the cast because it is quick. We really only have 3 members of the cast, which is something we don't see a lot in movies. Heather Donahue, Michael Williams, and Joshua Leonard. All 3 actors use their real names for this movie.
that's why they died
And that's,
in real life, and I'm still scared.
yes.
They
That's,
could have just changed it by like 1/2 vowel. Like
They
the
could have.
guy from like
Heather
Workaholics.
and Juice.
No, and Workaholics.
Michael?
It's like instead of like Blake Anderson, it's Blake Henderson. Instead of Anders
I don't think they
Holm,
did
it's
their-
Anders Holm Vic.
Yeah.
I don't think they did their last names in the movie at all.
They didn't use them in the movie, no. But
Yeah.
they were credited as themselves.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I throw one thing out there about the actors?
Sure.
I wish desperately that Josh and Mike had been a bit more distinct because I was constantly getting them conflated. They are too alike. And I know that like,
You think so?
I do. Not in look, but in just like, it's such a shaky cam that you can never really, unless it's like super stabilized on one person in place, see their face. And they're both just kind of generic dudes from 99 that I wish one of them had like a pretty extreme personality or a certain look.
And actually 94, because that's when the movie takes
Yeah.
place.
I guess I don't already, but like, I wish that one of them wore like, for example, like a bright red sweatshirt or like,
Well, Josh
one of
wears
them's-
camo.
but
Yeah,
one
Josh
of
had the
them's-
long hair. Mike didn't.
Yeah.
but you can't see it because they had their hoods up half the time.
It's fair.
And I feel like they just kind of blend in.
Josh
where,
had
like,
a beard. I mean,
the other one had shadow. I just honestly,
Shadow from Homeward Bound.
but both Jess and I watching this immediately had to ask each other multiple times. Like in the first 30 minutes, we're like, wait, which one's Josh? Which one's Mike? Which made the later pretty big plot point.
You don't ever, in that situation, just wait for someone to say one of the names and see who responds?
No, because it had no value to me. They weren't characters. It was just like, oh, person A is now gone. Person B is now yelling. But it kind of like it lost some weight to me a little bit because I wanted them to be more distinct characters. There was a woman and there were two dudes, but they didn't really have characters. And I know that's not the point of the film, but if the two dudes had any more character, it would have been a little bit beefy to me. Where I'm like, oh, good. At least I care about them at all. I know who this is. When she's like, Josh, where are you? And I'm like, which one's Josh? Why do we care about? Is Josh the one who yells or the one who lays on his back? I don't really remember.
Such a weird thing to think about.
I don't know. We both had that moment.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's why you guys are a match.
I mean,
Same
yeah.
person.
Well, she likes pickles and I don't. So,
Pickles are amazing.
well,
Agreed.
does your wife like pickles?
No, she hates pickles.
So, yeah, that's a good match.
You like pickles.
I do.
So
Well,
does
big
your wife.
question.
Yeah, my wife
I was
does
gonna
as
say
well.
she likes pickles too.
Okay.
So that's where it falls apart. It's not real.
So we eat a lot of pickles.
I'm with you, man. So again, these are the three actors. They use their real names to blur the line between fiction and reality, or in Nels' understanding, just reality.
You blurred reality
Correct.
with reality.
So the plot of this film is it follows three student filmmakers, Heather, Mike, and Josh, who travel to the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland, to make a documentary and investigate the local legend of the Blair Witch.
Correct.
Did we do the relevant question?
Mm-mm.
No?
So let's do it now. Have you ever gone camping into the deep woods in search of a local legend?
Sweet fancy Moses, no.
No, I've done a lot of. I love camping. I love backwoods, backcountry, backpacking. Like I'm like off the trail at times, forging your own. Mainly me and shout out Eric if you're listening. I miss you, buddy. But like a group of us would do certain backpacking trails that would be range from like 4 to 29 miles over the course of a few days. I really miss that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. 0% ever in search of something. Just maybe in search of myself.
Very nice. Never in search of gold.
It's all about that gold.
You go look in abandoned factory apartment buildings for that.
One
Everybody
time,
knows that's
one
true.
time I was searching for gold in the middle of the woods, and I eventually went home.
found
I
the
never
Blair Witch.
found it because I didn't realize that the gold was actually in the tree canopy above me. Because this dumb old Eugene drew the map.
It was just
upside
floating
down.
in the sky. I just didn't look up. I didn't realize that's how the map was drawn.
Why didn't you look up sooner?
I'm not a firefighter. I don't know these things.
That's true. You're not. Actually, the opposite of it. You start fires.
I'm an arsonist.
Shout
So
out to our
next-
episode from like a month and a half ago, Trespass.
I'm not
next
gonna lie to
week-
you. I've gone back and listened to that episode so many times. It's so entertaining.
Well, I was gonna say next week. Tune in for Backdraft.
We're gonna do Backdraft
I
at
love
some point.
Backdraft. That's a great movie.
All right. So what do you say we dive into kind of the meat of this? There's not a ton of plot, so we're going to move through it relatively quickly. We're going to spend probably a lot of time definitely talking about the marketing, but we're also going to talk a lot about some of the research I did on the background of the making of the movie, because I think a lot of it really does lend to what was the ultimate product.
And if I may, I might drop a philosophical tidbit or two.
And we're also going to learn about, Colin's...
the psychological like aspect of horror.
Yeah, there you go. I'm with you.
From 15 years ago.
15?
It's like college, right?
Like 12, 13.
Whatever. Okay, that's close.
Get it right, Nels.
Oh,
Jesus. Can't stand when you're wrong about numbers.
It's never happened.
Nah, no. Look who's talking, right?
Hey, we can do that movie.
Like 13.
All right, so we open with an opening text that really sets off the fact that this is a recovered or found footage type of movie. The movie immediately presents itself as real. We're told that 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods in 1994. A year later, their footage was found, and what we're about to watch is the footage that was recovered. And in 1999, audiences were not media literate. We were at the beginning of the internet. We did not have a ton of understanding of how that worked. So viral marketing was very effective. Many people, as you've already heard, 2 of us on this show walked into the theater thinking this was genuinely authentic.
I mean, they said as much, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you see that nowadays and you're like, oh, based on a true story. And you're like, this like,
yeah, there was no like based on a true story. They're like, this is found
real
footage of a thing that happened.
Also based on a true story versus it is a true story. Like I could say
based on a true story could just be like the main guy's name is John.
Yeah. And therefore he murdered his whole family and ate an entire pack of coyotes until he turned into one. And you're like,
I would watch that movie.
By the way, John actually was like a 19-year-old, like who just went to like play baseball with his friends one night. And that's the story. And they're like, but his name is John.
His name is John.
And he wore a blue shirt.
It's based
in the
loosely.
movie. He didn't even wear a blue shirt. And like, well, it was purple. And that's
it's in the blue family. So at the beginning of the movie, we meet the filmmakers. It opens on Heather testing out a camera. She is using the M18 camcorder, I believe, at that point. I think it's an M18.
They call PC a lot. What is PC?
I'm going to rely on you for all the technical aspects of this.
I feel like they say PC. They grab the PC or something.
16.
Oh.
16 millimeter. That's the black and white camera.
Oh, our subs were... way off.
So we were talking to your wife about this before we hit record, and she did say that there was a difficulty understanding some of the audio. So
yeah.
I blame Mike, the sound guy,
who's using a
microphone.
PC.
DAT.
What is the DAT?
DAT, digital audio tape.
Yeah.
So he is the sound guy. So you see him walking.
Does he have like a boom mic?
He has got that boom mic.
Okay.
It's a smaller one than you would see in a normal like
the
television show. Yeah, it's not one of those. It kind of looks like a sword.
Not like the one like the one in The Office when the guy like smashes the other guy in the face with it.
No, it's not that big.
Okay.
It's still pretty big though. I mean, it's a good like 14, 16 inches.
Well, that's gigantic.
It is. Anyway.
4 to 6. That's, I mean, enormous. Wait, what'd you say?
Look, you brought up The Office. This is your fault.
I know. That's true. The next person that we're introduced to is Josh. He rolls up in his car and Heather immediately says, oh, hey, Mr. Punctuality. The reason she said that is because that was legitimately the first day of shooting and he was over an hour late. So she was quite annoyed with him. So he rolled up over an hour late. So she called him Mr. Punctuality. They then go to meet the third member of the crew, Mike. They have to pick him up at his house. They do. And it's clear from the interactions right then and there that Heather and Josh know each other. But Mike is new to this dynamic.
They found him. I don't know how they got him. There's no Craigslist yet.
I don't know. They never say how they met him, how they got the word out, or how they hired him. But it's very clear that Mike does not know them.
Maybe they put up flyers at the college or something. I don't know. Sound guy needed.
Could be because we learn later that Josh is actually the one who's taken the 16 millimeter camera from what we would assume a school of AV. Same with Mike. He's responsible for the DAT getting back in time. So it's unclear, but seems reasonable to assume. The 3 travel to Burkittsville and they conduct some interviews in town. Some are very interesting. Some are not so interesting. And some really provide a whole lot of nothing to to the story.
There's the older gentleman they talked to who seemed to know more about the Rustin Parr
Mr.
section
Parr.
of it.
Yeah.
And then there's the mom with the daughter, and she's just more kind of like, I kind of believe in it, but I'm not going in there.
Right.
Well,
She doesn't.
how perfect was the
little kid?
The kid at that point
Yeah.
when she's like, no, like I think like those kids were all killed, and the kid's like, no, and like puts her hand over the mom's mouth, and then the mom's like, no, they weren't, and I'm putting my hand over like my face to like shield the kid from seeing this, but she's like,
Yeah.
they were,
Yeah.
and then she's like, no, but they weren't, but they were,
Right.
and the kid like obviously unscripted, obviously,
Oh,
was
yeah,
just
for sure.
lucky as hell,
For sure.
but what
It's a
an
great shot.
incredible shot! With
It's a
that
great
kid.
shot. To your point, Nels, the old man who talks about Mr. Parr, I think it's important we talk a little bit about the story he shares, because old Mr. Parr was a hermit, according to this guy that lived up on the mountain, and children kept going missing, and people didn't really understand why, where they were going, anything like that. And he said at some point, Mr. Parr comes down into town, into the market, and says, my work is done. And this prompts the town police to actually go up to Mr. Parr's house and do some investigating, find a bunch of children dead. And what the legend of Mr. Parr is that he would take the kids into the basement by twos. He would have one face into the corner while he killed the other one.
Now, granted, he did work at Shenanigans. So, like, in fairness, it's not that. He's a cool guy. It was okay for him to, like, be around these kids,
he's a
like
cool
Monty.
guy. He's a cool guy.
I do have a question because he took 7 kids.
Yes.
So how do you do the pairs thing after 6?
I don't know.
You hold a hand.
Do you just have one kid double up in the corner? Like you stay there
Does that kid become the Blair Witch?
extra. And then
Oh.
I don't know.
We never find out.
No.
The Pear Witch?
Pear Witch.
Isn't his
Parr
name
Witch.
Parr
Witch.
Yeah.
So that's the story of Rustin Parr. There's also, obviously, from the woman who's holding the child, talks about the Blair Witch herself being someone who takes children in the woods. We meet an older gentleman who they ask, do you believe in the Blair Witch? Yeah. No. Have you heard of her? Yeah. Are you a religious man? Yes, sir. Okay, then.
Is that immediately when it cuts to the black and white of their thing?
Yes.
I love the cut where he's
Yes.
like, no. And then, like, a couple questions later, it just,
Yep.
it's now black and white because they're doing their film. I
Exactly.
thought that was a good transition.
So the transition moves to the opening scene of the documentary, which is Heather sitting in the cemetery that overlooks Burkittsville. It talks a lot about how most of the people that are laid to rest in that cemetery are children. A good portion of them passed away in the 40s, and no cause of death really is listed or known. Then they go see Mary. What was Mary's last name?
I don't remember.
Mary Brown.
Sure.
Sounds right. This is somebody that apparently they were told to go see, but there's really no explanation as to why they were told to go see her, other than she's crazy and the town sees her as crazy, but she believes in the Blair Witch. Mary looks like she could be the Blair Witch.
100% the first time I watched this. Like, I mean, this is back in college, but yeah, the very first time I watched this, I was like, okay, well,
It's her.
I mean, like, I'm not trying to be ageist or like how like convex your face is,
She has not eaten in a while.
but like I've seen now, what is it? Weapons.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Love
seen
Weapons.
Weapons, and the second you see that woman, I'm like, well, she's the witch. And she turned out to be the witch. Spoilers. But in this
Spoiler.
movie, when I saw that, I was like, every
is?
bone in my body, my animal instincts are just screaming like, you're out.
Well, so Mary tells the three that she has actually seen the Blair Witch, that she was laying
In the mirror.
Said her name 3 times in the mirror.
Me, and I appear.
me. That's incredible. She tells a story about how she was laying upon the leaves next to, she's got a little bit of Trump in her. If you listen to it, I was laying upon the leaves.
We should have raked those leaves. They're responsible for all the forest fires. Actually, California should burn anyways because Governor Borsum is there.
I've met the witch. She's a great witch. Everybody would get along with her, especially me. She's my best friend.
Little
She's
Harry.
very underrated.
Little Harry.
Those kids didn't matter. They were losers.
She's got a twinge of that cadence. I picked it up the second time I was watching it with Jessica. It was really funny to me. But she said she was laying on the leaves and this woman approached her. She didn't say anything, but she was covered head to toe in what she calls horse fur. We'll call it hair, because that's a weird way to describe a horse.
Horse fur, in all honesty, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Oh,
it.
you're fine.
Is insanely scarier than horse hair. Just the fact that you would use the word fur to describe a horse, it makes my whole conscience be like, I don't like this person.
I don't like you.
I don't like him, and I don't want to be around him. And they're like, well, I was covered in it. And I'm like, okay, well, then I definitely don't.
Well, she says that she opens her shawl and she can see that she's furry from head to toe, what I'll call it hairy. But the interesting thing about all these interviews they're doing is they kind of subtly contradict each other, which makes the mythology feel a little bit more authentic rather than scripted, in my opinion. I think it makes it feel like you're actually in a little town that's heard different versions of the same story for years and years and generations, and now you're getting the byproduct of those different stories.
Did y'all have any like old wives' tales kind of thing about, like, not your overall cities, but I'm talking like specific, like not necessarily neighborhood, but like part of town kind of thing?
People where I grew up, you'll remember the name, the Heimberger House.
Yeah, and I presume that there were a bunch of different stories about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they all that lends so much credibility to your point.
I can't even remember like what the actual legend or story of the Heimberger House was, but I know everybody
He turned kids into Heimbergers and ate them.
That's a safe bet.
Because
but
he was
guarantee
lactose
you,
intolerant. He didn't have cheeseburgers. He had Heimbergers.
I guarantee you, anybody from where I'm from, around my age, you remember the Heimberger House.
No.
There was a house.
Gee, thanks, Nels.
There was like a mansion near us, and I'm pretty sure it was just like a mansion that was like way too big and way too like expensive. And I don't know, however many miles from our house it was, but like everybody knew that mansion was friggin' haunted. It was terrifying. There was a reason there. There were rumors of like a murder there. There were rumors of a witch there. There were rumors of a million different things, but like don't go near it at all. And like almost guaranteed some rich asshole probably just built like their dream house. And they're like, oh, like I want my exact thing. And then like it was foreclosed and they couldn't sell it. But to a kid, that was 100 million% fact that I'm like, oh, I don't know what it is because I've heard 1,000 different stories.
Right.
But that means I know that one of them's true.
Or none of them are true, or all of them are true, which, I mean, infinitely could make it scarier to a member of that community if you've grown up in that and you have even some belief that at least one of them has a modicum of truth to it.
Full agree. And for the record, it never sold. It was bulldozed. It was on the market for like 10 years or something, which,
Yep.
I mean, in my real estate background, I'm like, well, that's just a stupid idea. Just like take it off and do something. But it was bulldozed and they sold the lot as multiple houses.
And were the ghosts freed?
Well, everyone who bought a house there actually is dead now. So
They all hung themselves in
their
the dining
names
room.
are Colin McDonald.
Hanged.
Hunged.
Hanged.
Hanged.
Heimberger.
It all comes together.
They're all hung in the dining room. They're
I don't know
just-
why I did like the Hulk vote.
I can't wait to do that movie on this show.
It all comes together,
It's going to be
brother.
in 5 years.
What?
Hell House LLC.
Oh, no, I was saying they're just laying dong.
Oh, like Dr. Manhattan. Watchmen reference. Nice. I see you, Don.
Dawn.
We'll get you a movie reference out of this anyways.
Yeah. So the last part of day one in the woods is they find their way to Coffin Rock, which is another aspect of the lore that Heather reads a passage from a book about, where 5 men are found bound and disemboweled at Coffin Rock. And when the individual who discovered these bodies went to get help, when they came back, the bodies were gone. So we don't really know how that fits in. We don't really know if that's Blair Witch. Is that, serial killer? We have no idea. So the movie is carefully building a little bit of dread, a little bit of isolation, and it's layering that folklore on top of each story. First night in the woods. Nothing happens. They're cooking sausages. They're making marshmallows. They talk a lot about Mary Brown and about, some of the silly and crazy things she said. They won't let Heather smoke a cigarette in the tent, but Mike can fart as much as he wants. So now we get to day 2. What we're doing on day 2 is they're going to try and hike to this cemetery that Heather is sure exists. And they don't really find a cemetery per se, but they do come across piles of rocks.
Can I pause for a quick second just to give, if you are not familiar with this movie, listeners, or if you haven't watched it, I want to give some context about how far they've hiked in. They reference at one point that they're like 3 hours from the car if they like make a direct point, and they're hitting multiple points. So like imagine, listeners, that like I'm drawing a crescent. They're trying to hit all these points in a semicircle, but then the quickest way to the car is to go just bisect it in the dead middle of the circle, just a straight line down. But if that's 3 hours down, I'm curious y'all's thoughts on like backwoods, trekking. A 3-hour hike from point A to B doesn't seem that long if you're already making camp after only hitting one big spot that night. Am I correct in thinking that in y'all's minds? In this movie, not in the course of backpacking, but this movie.
Checks out to me.
Okay.
I don't really know. I can't say that I've done a lot of significant hiking in that manner to have a
like backcountry.
I'm guessing like she at least thinks she knows where everything is in the woods. And she's thinking, okay, it's far enough away after visiting Coffin Rock. We should camp now instead of trying to make the next hike or go halfway. Let's just camp here.
I guess that's fair. I'm confused. Like if the furthest point is a 3-hour hike from the car, I don't know. 3 hours in a day seems like boring to me.
That's all it took for Gilligan to get lost was a 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour.
So I'm just saying.
But I'm like, well, I don't want to hike for 3 hours because then what are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Maybe it's 3 hours worth. This is going to sound stupid if it's.
Go for it.
Maybe it's 3 hours worth of. No, that can't be correct.
Well, because
I don't know. I guess that's the easiest thing to say is I don't know.
It seems like if they start here, they're trying to like hit these spots, and then this is 3 hours. So it seems like the furthest 2 spots are 3.
3 hours at what speed?
That seems to be when things start hitting the fan and they're trying to go home. So I would assume that's pretty quick.
I'm guessing because it seems like there is some sort of witch manipulation of their direction at some point.
For sure.
And I'm wondering if that's already started here.
But I just, if you're going to hike 3 hours or 5 hours in a day, I would be, I don't know, as someone who's backcountry, like trekked.
Because the guys are
so boring.
The guys are
like,
already questioning Heather here, right? A little bit about her navigation.
Once they've found those piles of rocks, they're like, come on, we need to get going.
That is this morning, right?
Yeah. During second day. Yeah. So I don't know that they're necessarily there's a little bit of twinge, but it's more joking because they say something. Josh asks Heather something along the lines of, "Did you got us lost yesterday?" And she's like, "For a very brief amount of time." And he's like, "Ha ha ha." So how do you think the documentary's going? Like it's kind of playful.
Yeah.
But they're starting to notice.
I guess the only other thing I would say is like it seems like they would be really bored on their own of just like the three, Mike, Josh, and
Heather.
I was about to say Blair, but obviously that's not it.
Well,
she's a different woman.
She's entertaining herself.
If you're in the middle of nowhere, especially 99 without like a lot more to do.
94.
Even more.
They didn't release it to the public until 1999.
There was no cell phones in 94 to keep you people didn't have that screen time, that constant thing. They had to keep themselves entertained back then. So maybe they were probably more used to it.
Yeah.
There's probably a twinge, at least a little bit of like excitement under the surface of like, all right, even though we're walking through the woods and we haven't found anything yet, this is kind of stupid documentary, but like there's probably a little bit of you that's like,
I guess they're filming so much.
Maybe we're going to come across something. Maybe something will happen. And guess what? They get their wish on night 2. Because in the tent, they start to hear what sounds like rocks falling or rocks being smacked together. It's very distinct, at least in my opinion. I don't know if you guys felt differently.
I don't know if it's, branches cracking, something smacking, and there's noises. There's woods noises.
This is what I was at. It's wood noises. This is what I brought up before the pod.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're in the middle of absolute deep woods, there are so many noises that are insane. Outside of animals, you just constantly hear trees breaking, branches falling, trees felling, stones shifting, let alone like you hear a loon call. We're in Minnesota, so I bring that up. And it's absolutely terrifying.
It sounds like every woods has witches in it.
Yeah, but like
doing stuff.
That's just part of the thing. If I heard only 1 or 2 branches fall, that's when I'd be worried. If I heard 1,000, I'm like, no, I mean, like I picked our camping spot for sure. I looked above us and this is why we're using this spot.
So you, as an avid backwoods camper, if you experience this on night 2, you wouldn't think anything of it.
I wouldn't wake up.
Just let's say you did.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think anything of it. Even though they're saying they say it's all around us. So it's coming from all sides. It's not all at the same time.
It's not like one direction over that way.
I think if it were only one direction, I'd be more worried. If it were only one noise in one direction, I'd be like, that's a little odd. But if it's all around you at different times, no, that's just camping to me.
But if it's the same sound all around you in kind of a sequential order,
I probably wouldn't even wake up if I'm being honest.
I'm asking if you're already awake.
I probably would just ignore it and go back to sleep.
Okay. I'd be a little nervous. Just me personally.
Night 3, different story.
I'm throwing Ziploc baggies full of pee out the tent. I'm not even getting out.
I think that's the only thing about camping that weirds me out is the idea that you really don't have a way to completely shut yourself out from the outside. You can you can zip your tent up, but you can't lock it.
And
it's just like a flimsy piece of whatever.
It's
anyway.
the psychology of a closed door. It's the psychology of I have technically the mental like wherewithal to know I have a wall around me, even though like a twig would pierce this.
Right.
But like I'll open my tent to go pee in the middle of the night countless times and I see a bunch of eyes looking. I'm like, they're just like stupid ass raccoons, just like clearly wanting to get in our trash and stuff.
But what if they're not?
Well, I mean, I'm here now. They were.
You are now. But how many videos of you exist on the internet in the woods peeing?
Listeners, I swear to God, if I'm not here next week, then you have to bend to look at.
So
night 2, that's pretty much all they capture, these noises around them.
We should mention those rock formations. I think Josh, accidentally kind of knocks one over.
He does. You're right.
That's a crucial detail.
Or is it Mike?
No, it's Josh.
Was it Josh?
Oh, okay. Well. Look at y'all messing up, Mike.
I know which one is which. I just don't remember.
No, dude, I know specifically Josh because Josh specifically has problems later.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Mike doesn't though.
Yeah. And Heather, to her credit, tried to like put the rock formation back, but I think that sound is done.
Pretty large response to him knocking it over.
Yeah.
She has quite the response. But I get it. She's making a documentary. She wants everything to be perfect. She appears to believe that is the cemetery they were looking for. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was, personally.
No, also
the rock formations.
If you ever found a cemetery that's not like super well maintained or marked, which I've seen, they're so boring. They're just it's just
rocks.
It's not even like tombstones. Yeah, because they're so old. It's just like, here's like a 7-inch tall, kind of somewhat rounded rock with 0 writing on it. Right. And there's like 10 others that are kind of crumbling around it.
So day 3 is really where things start to begin to unfold. Day 3, they're clearly lost. Josh knows it. Mike knows it. Heather will not admit it.
Do they start going hysterical a little bit here in the morning?
Not so much, but on day 3, they do find the iconic stick figures. They find the stick figures.
I think that was later.
No, I think it was day 3.
Because they find the rock formations outside their tent
but
first.
Don't they start kind of like, where are we? Where are we? I told you we were here. I thought we were here. And you told me we were here.
No, I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm 98% sure.
94.
Yes. That they find the 3 new rock formations that weren't there before outside
around
their tent.
around their tent.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the night before when they were hearing the noises. They wake up the next day and that would be day 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Is night 3 gone?
Day 3. You're right, Nels.
Yes.
Sorry. They wake up on day 3. They do find the same rock formations that they had found.
That's when they start
before.
freaking out. And I can't remember who said it, but somebody's like, what are the odds that we would have camped right here between the 3?
I did think it was Heather where she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I set up camp right between these 3 rock formations.
You
just-
would absolutely.
It would never
know where to
happen.
camp. You would look at your surroundings. You'd look up. You'd mark it.
So they think
draw it
somebody-
out. Yeah.
They think
somebody is following them. Somebody.
I think
I think.
they're wanting to think it's locals.
Yeah.
But they also don't want to mess with locals that have followed them up into the woods.
Honestly, that's maybe scarier. Like the hills have eyes kind of stuff.
I would probably rather deal with locals than a witch.
Yeah. I want something I can stab in the face and it's over.
Avada Kedavra. Done. I win. Which over?
You are not Harry Potter. You have the scar, but you're not Harry Potter.
I cast a spell on you.
So during day 3's hike, they're clearly lost. Again, Heather is not admitting it. They check the map many times. This is the day that it's like pouring rain, right? When they do a bunch of map checks, and Josh is convinced that he can read the map better than Heather. And
Yeah.
they're stopping for map checks constantly, and they're
Can we find a place to sit down with cover to look at the map, which
Yes.
is very relatable.
Yes.
That one hit home.
And I think the thing about day 3 is not a ton happens during the day, but they get too close to evening time and they're not anywhere closer to the car that they were hiking back towards. And day 3 leads into night 3, and they're starting to realize, hey, we have problems tomorrow morning because Josh has to be at work at 9. Mike has to get the DAT back before anybody notices it's gone. Josh has to get the 16 millimeter camera back before anybody knows it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
People were expecting them home that night, and they are lost. So they decide to camp for night 3, and they're not happy about it. I wouldn't be either, because they're hungry, they're cold, they're confused, they're lost, and they're starting to turn on each other just a little bit. Let's talk about night 3, because night 3, it starts to get a little weirder.
Is this when they all sleep together?
They all sleep together the whole time.
Oh.
I think Heather and Mike share a tent and Josh has his own. Is that right?
No, they're all in the same tent.
Are they?
Yeah, same tent.
Okay.
Well, regardless, yeah, night 3 is where it goes from, hey, this is kind of fun, this is kind of spooky, to, all right, I got to be honest.
I want to go home.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Because it's getting closer and it's getting louder and it's the same noises as the night before. So to your point, Colin, if you're hearing the exact same thing in the exact same way, exactly one day later, you would start to get a little nervous.
That's the exact same noise in only one place is infinitely scarier than a lot of noises all over.
So Josh and Heather actually are out of the tent, and when they're hearing these noises with their cameras, Mike is refusing to get out of the tent.
Mm-hmm.
He is not having it. And so
I get it. It's
Yeah.
not safe, but it feels safe.
No,
I've also been in horrible windstorms or snowstorms, and the idea of just 4 walls, 3 really walls around you is absolutely a godsend.
if for nothing else, just for your mind's safety.
Exclusively
Yeah.
for your mentality.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that it does. But you're just like, oh, thank God I'm safe.
So out of curiosity, I'd love, we kind of have talked about this with you, Colin, but I'm curious, Nels, if you feel the same as me or if you feel different. Let's say you were out there, that you're on night 3. Are you getting out of the tent to take a look?
I was already throwing the Ziploc bag of pee out in that too.
But
no.
at that point now you've heard it, you've been through it one night, you hear it the second night. Are you in any way, shape, or form going to check that out?
No.
Okay. Are you?
Yes, to a degree. Yes, I have a hatchet that I have in my back. I also will probably first just unzip the rain fly,
Sure.
and I have a pretty good set of headlamps, and I'd be scouting the area still in the tent.
Sure.
Also, my tents have 2 zips though, so we can look at 2 directions at once. I necessarily wouldn't like leave, but if I do leave, I'm not leaving 2 people behind and going off on my own.
Well, they don't go very far.
It doesn't matter. I'm not at that point at night. It's so easy to get lost, and I've experienced this in real life with people
they're already lost.
Well, without witches, without like nefarious means, someone can just get up to go pee in the middle of the night, and then you hear them calling a few minutes later. And it's only happened once, but it was terrifying knowing that they didn't bring a headlamp, knowing they just tried to walk away. They're like, I can see the tent. And it happens so fast if you're backwoods. So no, I would never leave. The group stays together no matter what. Absolutely. I'd go out, but I would not go alone.
Ow.
Both for me and them.
Fair enough. I mean, I feel like I'd have to go out and look. Yeah. And I'm not going to walk away from the tent, but I'm going to get out and look. I feel like I'd have to. And we are now at the morning of day 4. This is where things are going to go a little more off the rails. We're going to start to see some descent into madness. And one of the things that I think is really interesting is you're starting to see like the human psychological condition start to show up on day 4. You know, there's some bickering and some arguing and a little bit of tension in the first handful of days, but really day 4 is kind of where it all comes to a head.
Could I throw in one thing? I mentioned some philosophical readings earlier. Lars Svensson did the psychology of fear. And in that book, he really talked a lot about the difference between fear and boredom, and how in modern day societies, humans actually get so bored that we seek out adventure. It's no different than someone trying to ride a roller coaster or watch a horror movie. It's an artificial sense of thrill for entertainment. I think the first maybe 2.5 days kind of felt that way to them. This is no longer fear versus boredom. This is just straight up fear. This is no longer commodifying a tragedy for a fun student project. They wanted a controlled fear, a controlled thrill, but they are overwhelmingly, they've stumbled upon like a real thing. And I think it's apparent in their voices. I know that the movie gets a lot of grief for like the acting. I feel it though. Kudos to them.
Yeah, I don't think you can watch these performances, and we'll talk in more detail about why the performances feel so genuine and authentic. But I don't think you can watch these performances and understand what's happening in the scenes around them and not harken back to a time in your own life when you started to feel genuine panic, genuine fear, genuine anxiety. And you can't really separate those pieces of feeling from what else is going on, because they are that real.
To elaborate on that too, another point of Svensson's is that fear is in our minds tangible. So, for example, Nels, Ben, a wolf attacks you. Why are you scared?
I don't want to die.
And why is the wolf attacking you?
Because he's a dick.
I just ate pork.
Because he's hungry. The wolf is going to kill you because he's hungry.
Hungry like the wolf?
Heyo.
But that's a logical reason.
Yeah.
They keep asking in this movie who and why. There is no logic about it. They're not trying to apply pretenses of the reason, the logical rationality of, oh, there's a werewolf. He attacks me because he's enraged. He has to kill and eat. No, I don't know. It's the fear of the unknown. It's at this point like ontological horror. When you don't know what's going on, but you know 2 things are true. I'm being stalked. I don't know why. I guess 3 things, but I am scared. That makes it way scarier to the human condition, in my opinion. And according to that's why I'm like trying to bring back some old readings.
Well, and that ties really succinctly into what's going on in the movie right now, because one, we find out that Heather no longer can find the map. She doesn't have the map. It's always in her pants pocket. It's not in her pants pocket. She thinks the guys have taken it from her as a joke because they think she cannot navigate or get them out to the car. So they've taken the map as this giant joke.
What I didn't mean when she says only one of two things has happened. Either Josh took it or Mike took it, because the only thing I know is that it was in my pocket.
Yep.
That is not how the real world works, though. Like, I lose things all the time, especially when camping. Things fall out, things get left behind, things get forgotten. But that being said,
it's a really important thing to not lose, though.
No, I absolutely agree. Which is also like, what? Don't bring one map. Who brings one map in 94?
These are clearly novice people, filmmakers, campers, hikers.
I would have left on
Cartographers.
Day 0.25. I'd been like, no, y'all suck at camping. But
she brought the book, How to Survive in the Woods, so she clearly knows what she's doing.
Yeah, but bringing it back to like the illusion of safety.
Written by B. Witch.
I feel like in modern society, we've eliminated all but the most basic physical dangers. You know generally where you are. You're not used to actual risk outside of physical stuff. So we buy into the illusion that we're safe. Like, you look at Heather at the very start. She has cameras. She has guidebooks. She has a schedule and like everything planned out. But they kind of treat the woods like a theme park. And the second that it stops being fun, the second that they lose those comforts, those worldly connections, is when it goes from, oh, I'm generally anxious, this is kind of interesting, to this is now a straight up fear, terror moment.
Kind of harkens back to the episode we did about The Rock, where Nick Cage says to Sean Connery, the minute you don't respect this, it kills you. And it's
so true.
It feels very similar with the woods, with the ocean, with fire, all of these things that, you know, VX poison gas isn't naturally occurring, but all those other things are. The woods are naturally occurring, the ocean, fire. So the minute you don't respect something like that, it can kill you.
Jess and I once went hiking. We were on the Pacific coast in Northern California, and it was Black Rock Beach, which it looks like a beach. They're all stones, though, but they're so soft and old that it feels like sand, even though they're literally stones. But we were walking along it, and we eventually ran into some park rangers as we were hiking. And their main point overwhelmingly was, you have to respect the ocean, because if both of y'all turn your back on it for 1 second, one of you or both of you is gone. Mm-hmm. And they gave us countless examples of that. And we were like, okay, obviously we're both very aware. We're very veteran campers, hikers, etc. We were hiking for hours and hours up and down it. Eventually we knew that high tide was coming in. We had timed it and everything. We climbed to the high ground. High tide came in a matter of minutes. And it was not just a high tide. It was an overwhelming tide, where if we had not climbed, I don't know, roughly 60 to 80 feet up into the bank, there's no chance that we could have fought it. It's just overwhelmingly like that.
And there is that that natural element overtaking you piece that's adding to the anxiety of this, but also the fact that this day they also find the stick figures all over, and they don't know where they came from. They don't know who made them, but they're all over the place. They're small, they're large, they're all over the place that they find.
And Heather touches one.
I think a few of them touch them. I think. She at least definitely does.
Would you Would you
No.
either of you?
No.
No. Would you touch these?
I'm just turning and running at this point. One direction, go.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm still there at this point after the first handful of nights, but
I think that we'd all, at least I'd be gone after day one when
Yeah.
I realized I was like, wait, y'all don't know where we're going, what we're doing. All right, deuces. But if we're all there morning 4, we're all there hypothetically, and we see these stick figures.
no, I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm out.
All
Out.
right. All right.
And I think they kind of are too. And, part of the reason that they can't find their way back is because Mike admits that he has actually kicked the map into the creek.
I'm like a laughing lunacy.
And he, not in his defense, but his defense is that map wasn't doing anything for us anyway. It was doing nothing for us. We were lost. We were walking in circles. We weren't getting anywhere. So I kicked it into the creek, and Heather and Josh rightfully lose it.
Hell yeah, they lose it. Again, going back to like modern humans are not used to like true fear and true horror. Their safety net, their like feeling of control has been vanquished. Any modern sense of security has gone with it. It vanishes, and I'm not sure that I wouldn't. Listeners, we also, before this last break, had a moment and I was like, I've done a lot of camping. I've done a lot of backpacking. I'm almost always our like camping like parent. Me and one other guy, Eric, are almost always the ones who are like, no, safety first, always. If I saw that, we're not having words. We're having action. And the action is he's not in charge
I
of
kill you.
anything anymore. We're on our way out this millisecond. I don't
Yeah.
care.
You've lost your ability to navigate where you're going in a place that you're not familiar.
Well, because they're no longer just only scared of the witch. They're scared of the witch, the unknown, the
Lack of
feeling
food.
of being lost, having no food,
Having no water.
definitely getting
Cold.
giardia from random water.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pretty fast flowing creek. When she's like splashing her hand in it, it looks kind of clear, but probably giardia.
Yeah. So they eventually calm down. Everybody says no more blame. We're just going to put our heads together and get out of here. Well, they don't get out. They walk and walk and walk. They get no closer to where they're looking to go. They actually come across a downed tree that they walked across earlier in the trip, and they realize that's the same tree.
That's so scary.
They've walked all day in one direction and ended up in the same spot. And you can hear it when Heather kind of collapses when she realizes that's the same tree. And she can't believe it.
I feel like I've kind of been there to a degree when my main backpacking loop was very confusing. But if you've done it enough times, you know it. We brought a new person there. When we were like at our fishing hole / swimming hole in the Little Missouri River, he was like, oh, I'll go back on my own. And I was like, oh, no, I really feel like one of the two of us have to go back with like a group at a time. He's like, I got this. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to follow him for a little bit at least because it's like a couple miles. About a half mile in, he was like, are you following me? Come on, man. And then immediately passed the turn and kept going straight. And I was like, oh, well, that's your moment. You're supposed to turn left there and you're going straight. He's like, no, I can go this way too. And I was like, you cannot. I don't know where that goes.
Well, now the night is going to take over, and the night is proving to be way more intense than the others. This is the night actually that Mike suggests they don't light a fire. This is the night where he says, hey, we didn't light one the first night. Nothing happened. Let's not light one tonight. Let's just get through it and get out of here.
Would you?
Light a fire? I don't think it would matter to me.
I mean, I'd probably follow that logic at this point.
You would say like technically it didn't happen this night. You wouldn't light one.
Yeah. The logic is sound for me at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
I'd probably light like 5. I would like.
I would just set the woods on fire.
Oh no, but I would definitely. I would have had us all
Smoke her out.
collect a
Why not?
massive amount of wood, which is not hard in the middle of the woods. I would organize it, break it down, have at least 12 hours of fire, and have every single one of them lit in like a pentagram around us. And then
That's
I would.
a lot of wood.
Satan will save me from this witch.
bring the devil from the ground, and she will fight the witch.
Okay. All right. So this night is it's really where it goes in incredibly intense direction. They wake up and what they're hearing outside their tent is children laughing.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear kids laughing. They hear a baby crying in the woods.
I hate it. I cannot tell you how much I hate children's laughter in a horror movie.
Oh, I thought you were just saying children.
Oh,
Or
God.
children's laughter.
I think I
Stop
talked.
having joy.
I think in Sister Act I talked about like maybe my favorite thing to add to a movie, musical, music in general. I don't. If you add a children's choir in, I friggin' love it. You add children's laughter in, I love it. Into a horror, I'm out. It's a solid deuces for me, dog. I'm peacing out.
Well, it makes sense given the lore that children were brought to this house and murdered in pairs of twos. Now we hear children laughing. We hear the baby crying. And I don't know what you guys would have done, but what they did is they took off.
Well, the tent started shaking
That's
too.
true.
Something started shaking the tent around. So
That's true.
Yes,
That's
that's
when
when you.
That's when they made the decision.
It's
to
fight or
go.
flight, and
Yeah.
they flighted.
They flighted it.
Okay, but why run away from the tent into the middle of the woods?
What are you going to do? Stay in the tent?
No, I'm fighting.
Oh, you're
What are
you're
you
a fighter.
fighting?
Whatever's outside the tent.
Are you gonna start
You don't-
punching the walls of the
You
tent?
don't know what it is.
I know, but I'm gonna have to fight it.
Are you getting out of the tent to fight the thing?
If-
Or are you just like hitting the walls of the tent because they're thin and maybe you can hit it from there?
That's a good question. First, hit the outside, see what it does while I'm getting like my boots on. And for the record, I always have my boots that are slip on right by the entrance. So I'm quick to go. Mainly so I can just like piss in the middle of the night, but I have them there regardless.
They're also my fight or flight boots.
And I generally have a hatchet and a couple sticks that I like to have around. I will then pop up. And if there's not something right there outside the tent that I can just smack, no, I'm taking a defensive position. I'm not running to the middle of the woods. That's insane.
Well, again, you're speaking from a position of an experienced camper. These three are not. These are novices.
that's absolutely fair.
So they take off into the middle of the night. They're running. Mike has the DAT. Heather's carrying the camcorder, and Josh has the 16 millimeter.
Sorry, the DAT is the sound thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Digital audio.
And this
tape.
is where she starts screaming like, "What is that?
Yes. So
What the hell
Heather
is that?
Well,
Heather
that's not quite
sees
what she says. What did she say?
What the fuck is that?"
so Heather sees something to her left that we do not see as the audience.
It's a really good scream. Heather's the one of the best screamers in horror.
Yeah, she hits a good pitch.
And I have a lot to tell you about this when we talk about the background of this movie, the making of it. But they're running. They see something. She sees something. We do not see it as the audience. They finally make it to what they assume or believe to be is a safe space away from the tent. They turn the lights off, and Mike is saying, "There's no baby out there. There's no baby out there. It's not real. It's not real. There's no baby out there." Yet they all ran. They
Wait.
were all scared.
Why is he saying baby? Did I miss that?
There was a baby crying. There were children laughing and a baby crying.
Well, I hear children. Oh.
Yeah, there's a baby
God.
crying.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, if I'm being honest, like, you guys take the kids and the witch, I'll take the baby. Boom, wham! I'm talking like 40-yard punt, like straight into the red zone,
40-yard
right on the
punt.
1 yard line.
40-yard punt. So they stay out in the woods all night, and they come back the next morning, and their campsite's destroyed. Tents broken down. Everybody's stuff is kind of thrown around. But,
That is terrifying.
but one person in particular has their stuff really destroyed, and it's covered in what appears to be some sort of slimy substance.
And he's a big Tigers fan.
That's a different Josh.
No, sorry.
Josh has been marked.
It seems like it, and especially what you talked about before with him being the one that stepped on the rock formation, it seems to match.
Yeah.
So at this point, Josh is on the verge of losing it. Mike is almost attacking Heather to turn the camera off. She won't do it. Josh is despondent. He's sitting in a field, losing it. He's on the verge of tears. And
he gets the camera at one point and he is just in Heather's face.
Yes.
Is this when he says he's like, let's make an adult movie?
Well, not an adult movie, but
let's make a movie.
I actually think that part, like
that made me so uncomfortable.
His berating her, I thought was actually like, I'm not applauding that somebody would do that, but
it was scary though.
It makes sense given what they've been through.
Yeah.
And the fact that they all do blame her for being out there and being lost.
There is one part where, because you keep wondering, like, why is she still filming this? Why is she still doing the camera? And when he's berating her, it kind of gets lost. But there's a point where she just kind of snaps and she just yells like, I have nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't dive into that, but there is, when she says that, it's kind of like, this is all she has is making this. We don't know why. We don't know if, like, you know, she's lost a parent or something, got over her bad breakup. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
About her background, but you kind of feel that.
Is it possible that a little bit of her was like, we're fucked? We're done.
Beep.
We
used all of our cursing in the waiting episode.
I'm trying not to. Do you think there's a part of her though that was just like, we are toast?
This is pretty close to the point where,
and you know what? I might as well go out with like swinging, but I'm not going to.
Maybe somebody will find all this and make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
or at least I have like a legacy. Like my name will live on, even if though like my body,
or it can save other people.
Won't.
Like if we catch something.
Yeah.
Right?
I just I don't condone what the things he said to her, but I get it.
Josh or Mike?
Josh. I get it. Like, I want to make a movie. Like, I'm going to pick at you. I am going to get under your skin. In his mind, she deserves this. So he's going to needle her as best he can. And what he can do is ask her questions. Say, you going to write us a happy ending?
Yeah.
And that's the one that really breaks her. But
God, that's so heavy though.
It really is. But at the same time, that's like you just said, Nell. She says, this is all I have. All he has is what's in front of him. He doesn't have anything left either, because he's under the impression that they're stuck out there. They're not getting anywhere.
Remind me what his role in the trio is, like film wise.
He's the second camera operator. He operates the 16 millimeter, the black and white camera.
Okay.
But
He's the main when she's on screen, right? And then
Yes.
Mike's the sound guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
But he's constantly at her during that scene of like, I give you your motivation. There's a witch. She's hunting you. She left stuff outside your door. You took a trinket. There's kids out here. No one's here to help you. And that's one thing he keeps leaning back on, is no one's here to help you.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And I think that right there is like the moment of dread for the three of them, where if you ever had any doubt or hope that you could get out, that scene, I think, eliminates it completely.
And honestly, just throwing it back from camping in general, that's the case. You encounter another party while camping, there's 99.9 continuously % of the time only good that can come from it, especially if you're like backcountry backpacking or camping, because the only people who do that are really dedicated hardcore camping people. But I'd be lying if in the very back of my mind wasn't just a tiny bit. Like I shift my body a little bit.
Yeah.
Anytime we meet anybody, I'll like quickly look
You
over
should.
my shoulder.
You
I'll
should.
look around. I'm pretty observant.
You should.
And it's hard to turn that off because you're in the middle of nowhere and God forbid something happen. I mean, hell, you overlay people who go missing and then overlay them in the middle of the woods. And it's not that they got abducted out there. I'm sure that happens, but people go missing in the woods. That's just a fact of life.
That happens every day.
Probably almost 90-something% of them probably are because of caves and
Stupidity.
like cougars, stupidity. But you still gotta look around.
Yep, I get it. So night falls again. Really nothing happens that night. They wake up the next morning and Josh has vanished.
Yep.
Josh is gone. Search the area around the campsite. There's no sign of him. Mike believes Josh has simply gone off for some time alone. But even after they packed up and broken down the tent, there's no sign of him.
And I love Heather too, like kind of starting to freak out, being like, we said we wouldn't get
Out of
separated.
earshot.
We would never go without earshot.
Yep.
Like, this is insane. Why would he do this? Why would he do this? But she's not angry at him so much as she is clearly panicking about not just that he did this against the rules. It's he did this
And I'm responsible.
and I'm terrified because we all agreed not to. And holy shit, it happened.
Yep.
Now what?
Yeah, and it's happening now.
Right.
Not like, everything's going fine and he's wandered off.
And everything is ramping up. Like there's no taking a step backward.
Mhm.
It's all going up. So he's gone. Mike and Heather walk all day. They get nowhere. They go back. I mean, they camp essentially in the same spot again.
Do they still have a compass at this point?
Yeah, but it's not getting them anywhere.
Do you think that the witch messes with the compass?
I think that's probably part of it.
Because, like,
Yeah.
I've compass mapped before. If you're 3 hours from a car, you could at least just say, like, you know what? Screw it.
If we're integrating the lore of the sequels, she can manipulate like direction and time.
Okay, then that makes perfect sense.
So that night,
Well, this is where they found also the bundle, right?
that's the next morning.
Ugh.
Next morning.
Oh, I don't like that.
So this is their first day. They're without Josh. So they're walking and they decide to camp that night. That night they can hear agonized screams coming from the woods, and it sounds very much like Josh.
He's calling for help, right?
That night it's just screams.
Okay.
When they wake up, that's when Heather finds a bundle of sticks tied together with what appears to be Josh's shirt.
Mm-hmm.
She throws it away from the front of the tent. She's like, I'm just going to throw it away from the tent. Don't need to look at it.
Don't touch it.
Don't need to touch it. Don't just need to get it out of here. So she gets it away from the tent. She eventually gives in and she opens the bundle of sticks. She finds, obviously, like I said, it's wrapped in Josh's shirt. It's covered in blood. There's wrapped hair around it. What appears to be teeth and his tongue are wrapped in this bundle of sticks.
I
Yes.
did never get tongue.
There's
and tongue.
there's a bloody something, fleshy
Yes.
something. I just assumed tongue because of teeth.
Yep.
Okay. Teeth are something that make me.
I don't think either one sound pleasant.
I'm gonna do you solid, and we will not be covering 1996's The Dentist
Oh, hey, you know what? You
because
do.
I don't want to watch that either. ever
Y'all
again.
get a third special guest co-host. I don't care who it is.
Jess,
Can we get,
Go for
she'll
it.
watch the
can we get
dentist.
Corbin Burnson, who was in that movie? That'd be fun.
Ooh, there you
Oh,
go.
I love Corbin Burnson from Psych.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you don't get to be on the show. You said you didn't want to.
You don't
Well, I
want
like
you don't want to
Corbin
talk to him about
Burnson.
this movie.
You know what? I'm going to do my own podcast about Psych that week.
Okay.
So after this, Heather appears to be completely defeated. And I think we can all kind of relate to the moment where she's putting her pack on and she doesn't tell Mike what she found. And he's asking her, do you need help? And she's like, no, I don't need help. I'm really cold. I'm really hungry. I'm really tired. And I just want to go. She gets her pack stuck in her hair.
Been there.
Yeah. And he has to help her get it out real quick. I mean, it's just one of those defeating moments where it's like you got nothing left in you and you're doing your best just to give the bare minimum. And it comes through. It really does.
Also, those packs are brutal.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've only ever worn one like in a shop, but those metal gear backs are really brutal.
Yeah.
They're very popular in 99.
I believe it. 94.
I'll get that one day.
Well, we're at the last night, so you don't have to remember it much longer. So this is the night that Heather videotapes a confessional apologizing to her mother
Oh, this is so.
and to Mike's mom and Josh's mom for her naivete and accepting full blame for what has happened to the ill-fated expedition. She realizes that she's led them to where they are. She has an incredibly powerful speech about being scared to open her eyes, being scared to close them. And it would be I don't know if it would be shocking to the two of you, depending on the research you did, but that was 100% improvised. There was no script written for that speech.
I
Wasn't
am.
very much of the movie improvised.
We'll get to that, but 100% of that speech was improvised.
Is this the shot? Just sorry, forgive me, but like of
The close up of her
Yes.
face.
Of her
so
face.
What I read though was a really good trivia bit that I didn't realize before. She was holding it out at full arm's length,
Mhm.
but the video was actually accidentally zoomed in.
Correct.
So it wasn't supposed to be
It was not.
just like the upper part of her face.
But she refused to reshoot it.
Well, but rightfully so, because it's now one of the most famous shots in all of cinematography, in all of film.
Well, they also had questions about whether or not she'd want to reshoot it because of the crying and the snot. And she said, no, this is real. I don't want to do that.
Going back to, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that was spoofed very funnily in Scary Movie or Scary Movie 2, one of the early ones.
It's been done.
That's one of
Just
the
the
most
snot is just like
times.
coming
Yeah.
down the
Yeah.
actress's face in that movie.
It's even in like The Office when he's like,
Yeah.
I'm so scared when people don't separate the whites from the colors of recycling or something stupid like that, which doesn't even make sense. But I was going to say, going back to Lars Svensson, the philosophy of fear, basically his whole point was, or one of his main points was that fear completely isolates you. It strips your connection to others. It forces you to entirely exist inside your own head. And in that super famous confessional scene, she's only a few feet away from Mike. In that moment, like in their real lives, she's just a few feet away from another human being.
Yep.
But she's absolutely isolated and completely alone in her terror. And she's not looking at the world anymore. She's just staring into the lens, consumed by her own guilt and, like, I would argue, impending death.
At least understanding that that's a possibility.
I think she accepted.
Yeah.
And like,
We're not
how
getting out of here.
brutal is that moment then? That's the most powerful shot in the whole film.
I agree.
Easily.
And actually, let's take a quick break and let you guys listen to that monologue because I think it's really important you take a listen. Be right back.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom. And I'm sorry to everyone. I was very naive. I am so sorry for everything that has happened. Because in spite of what Mike says now, it is my fault. Because it was my project. And I insisted. I insisted on everything. I insisted that we weren't lost. I insisted that we keep going. I insisted that we walk south. Everything had to be my way. And this is where we've ended up. And it's all because of me that we're here now. Hungry and cold and hunted. I love you, Mom and Dad. I am so sorry. I'm scared to close my eyes. I'm scared to open them. I'm gonna die out here.
So as you can tell, Heather is completely defeated. She's kind of resigned to her fate at this point. And what we hear next is Heather and Mike hear what they believe to be Josh calling out for help in the night. They go to find the noise, where it's coming from, the origin of it, and they come across a house that's in not good shape.
Dilapidated.
Yes, very much so, in the middle of the woods.
In today's housing market,
It'd probably go for $1.5 million,
Yes.
depending on location.
it's a rustic, detached.
Yeah. Creekside view.
Yeah.
You really did used to work in real estate, didn't you?
Historical value.
It needs some TLC, but it's open to your vision.
Yeah. I was going to say it's a very open concept. It has no doors or windows.
Unfinished basement.
Yes.
Minimalist aesthetic.
There you go.
Some might say immersive woodland.
Mm.
Artistic, rustic painting.
Modern mindfulness.
I think we've killed the joke. So
Dozens of people murdered in it.
that'll do something. So Heather and Mike find their way into the house, and they follow the voice to what they believe is the source, which is the attic. And they get up there and they realize, no, he's not in the attic. But what we see on the way up, children's handprints all over the walls, all over the walls.
It's just art. It's like a 5-year-old hand painting.
Absolutely hate.
It's
Well,
kitschy.
It's something. And then they hear Josh from where Mike believes is the basement. So Mike takes off. I hear him downstairs. I hear him downstairs.
Tell me where you are, Josh.
Yeah.
Let's split up again.
Yeah. And so, well, he doesn't know that she's going to stay. She chose to.
He's
stay.
not. He's in his own thing right now.
Yeah.
He's just wanting to find Josh. He doesn't care about Heather following him, keeping an eye on her, any of that.
So Mike flies to the basement and is immediately taken out. By what? We don't know.
Ah, camera falls.
We never see it.
But there's kind of a whew,
A
right?
little bit, yeah.
Like there's a wisp,
A little bit.
and then he hits the ground, or rather,
No, just the camera
Yeah,
hits
the
the ground.
camera hits the ground. We don't really see what happens to him.
Well, we do. Because then,
Cut to her trying to come back down.
yeah, Heather finds her way to the basement now. She makes it down the stairs. She turns to the right, and she sees Mike standing face into the corner, which to me is one of the more terrifying still frames of this movie.
Quite unsettling.
Very.
And she's just screaming at him to turn around.
It might be the most famous, the second most famous scene from this whole movie.
Absolutely.
I'd say one, Heather, like
The close-up.
like, kind of like, yeah, the like nose up about how scared she is and how sorry she is. To him just like standing there and facing the corner.
Yeah. And just like what we saw with Mike's camera, hers drops to the ground.
The screaming stops.
Completely silent. The camera rolls for about 10 to 15 seconds. It's not focused on anything. You can't really tell what it's looking at. And then it cuts to black. And that's the end of the Blair Witch Project.
Can I ask this question in a I'm not being judgmental, this is a non-offensive way. Is this one of the most lucky movies of all time?
I don't think luck has anything to do with it.
I think timing, yes.
Just to explain my question, they're supposed to see the Blair Witch in the what the F is that scene.
We'll get to that.
They don't. They're supposed to have a better ending, but they run out of money. They don't. They are supposed to have her whole face in the film in the shot when she's like doing the soliloquy by herself, but it's accidentally zoomed in and then it becomes like famous. There are so many things that happen in this movie that were supposed to be different and ended up going differently according to plan that ended up iconic.
Well, let's talk about some of those background pieces because I think this is one of those movies where there is an incredible amount of information behind the scenes that if you know them going into it, it kind of diminishes your experience.
Sure.
But learning about them after the fact, it really does kind of give you some very interesting perspective on a lot of pieces. Like, for instance, the audition process required the actors that the directors were auditioning to improvise that the directors or the parole board that they needed to convince for release after 9 years in prison. Any actors that hesitated for even a second, the audition was concluded.
What? I'm sorry. I got confused. What do you mean by the parole board?
They told everyone who auditioned for this movie that they, the directors, were the parole board, and their audition was to convince them why they should be paroled after a 9-year prison sentence.
So all the actors who auditioned were in prison?
No, as it's an audition as an actor.
Oh, that was their role.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
You thought they actually went to a prison and pretended to be a parole board?
I said I was confused.
I was just clarifying the confusion.
So this, I think I said it at the beginning of the show. This screenplay was actually written in 1993, even though it didn't come out until 1999. The screenplay, quote unquote, was a 35-page outline. Not a lot of dialogue, not a lot of instruction, just kind of an outline. The actors, Heather, Mike, and Josh, were paid $1,000 per day. Each day, the actors would receive their daily activities in the outline by finding them in milk crates placed in the woods that they would find via GPS trackers. The map that was used was actually supposed to be what they followed to help them get back to the car. That was the goal. However, the map was intentionally altered for the purposes of having them walk in circles to continually confuse and upset the actors.
That's a true.
Yep.
Ooh, hate that.
The dialogue was
Love that for the movie, for the viewer. Ooh,
the dialogue was almost completely improvised. There was very, very little that was actually written in terms of dialogue. So much so that the actors actually had to create a word where they were able to utilize and break character for each other for a few minutes, and that word was taco. So if they ever got too into something or they needed to take a break, they used the word taco. The two directors hung the stick figures, piled the rocks, and made all the noises that were heard during the night. They were in the woods each day with the actors, but hiding and camouflaged, so the actors never saw them and had no idea what would happen next. The children laughing were recordings played over boom boxes outside the tent. The actors were unaware that this was actually going to happen.
So that was a true reaction, kind of?
Yes.
Like a la Hans Gruber falling.
That was a true
1 second
reaction.
too
Did they
fast.
say any, like, we're going to do something?
That's what I'm wondering.
And you don't know
From
what it is?
what I was able to understand from what I read, they never told them what would happen at any point or any time, but that they were supposed to give their genuine reaction. However, to create tension, like I said, they created the essentially circular idea of the map, getting them intentionally lost. They would give them less and less food each day out in the woods, which obviously increased their tension and their hunger. That's, I think, one of the things that's craziest about this, and Jessica even said, like, if I were one of the actors, I would sue them afterwards. I was like, I'm sure they wrote that into something contractual where you couldn't. And something you hit on earlier, Colin, in the scene where they run from the tent and Heather's yelling, "What is that? What is that?" The directors actually had told Heather that there would be something to her left, and they had created a witch that she was supposed to pan the camera to. But again, she didn't know what she was supposed to see. And in the moment, fear took over and she forgot to pan the camera.
Oh, she was the one holding the camera in the real filming.
Yeah, they all were.
No, but I mean, in that scene, she was the one who, like, it'd be easy to say she's running, but like there wasn't a single other person whose cut they used. I love that.
The cut that we see is Josh's, the 16 millimeter, because Heather's on screen.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
but Josh never turned.
He didn't know he was supposed to. They only told her.
Oh, I love that. Well, I don't. Because I love that, because if I were there, as I mentioned to y'all both earlier, I don't like being pranked. I would legitimately go like scorched earth. I would just start attacking with everything I had.
Well, another thing that they gave Heather in terms of an advantage was they gave her more information about the lore of the Blair Witch than Josh or Mike, and they were all led to believe that this was a true tale. So going into it, they were all led to believe that they were potentially going to catch footage of an actual witch.
Just for my understanding, then like they were led to believe that this is a meta film. It's a film about them capturing this, which actually could be captured.
But the Blair Witch is real.
Yes.
That's what they told them. Yes.
Okay.
But Heather was given way more information than the other two.
Do we know anything about these three actors? Like, do they believe in that kind of stuff? Are they like campers?
From what I can understand at the time, they all had at least a level of belief that it could be real.
Okay.
So this was obviously a movie well ahead of its time and a movie that could not happen today. And the reason that it couldn't happen today is because of the incredible amount of marketing and viral media that this movie did before it actually released. So this movie was made for $60,000, shot over 8 days in the woods. Worldwide gross was $248 million. A profit increase of 413,233.33%.
Which was a Guinness record for a while.
I think at the time, yeah.
I think up until
It's got to be still one of the most profitable movies.
Oh,
ever.
for sure. For sure.
I think it's still the second most. Don't quote me on this.
It's not the highest gross, but it's the most profitable.
I think it's the percentage-wise the most profitable up until It's Another Horror. Any guesses?
I thought it was My Big Fat Greek Wedding was like the independent movie that surpassed this.
Well, in terms of budget being like
We're
tiny.
It's like total gross.
We're talking about profit margin.
Okay, just profit?
Yeah, like budget being tiny.
Another horror movie?
It is another horror movie. It's much more, well, maybe not much more recent, but it's more recent. I've never seen it.
Skidamarink? That was cheaply made, wasn't it?
I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
Hereditary?
I don't. Oh, no, it's not. I know what that is, but no, it's not.
It would
It's
have to be like a really cheaply...
paranormal?
Wasn't Paranormal Activity?
Paranormal Activity, yes. That has eclipsed this. That's the current Guinness.
Interesting. We'll get to that movie.
Differentiation between budget versus this.
This movie definitely opened the door for movies like that to be made.
That'll be a Spooktober.
We're going to work on the name. So this movie became famous for a number of reasons. Mostly at the beginning is because people like Nels and myself genuinely believed that what we were sitting down to watch was real footage of people getting lost in the woods and being hunted by a witch.
Let's check T is right.
It was kind of like The Matrix.
The budget was only $15,000 for that movie.
For Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
I believe it.
No.
That's
and this was like
I thought it would have been higher because they were like in houses.
It's probably someone on the crew's house that they rented out.
Yeah.
So some really interesting pieces about what the filmmakers did to get this movie hyped for people to come see it was the filmmakers actually created fake police reports about the 3 missing students. They built missing person reports.
Wait, isn't that illegal? That's a felony to create a face.
They did it with their permission, I assume.
Okay.
They made a primitive website presenting the story as factual, and that website still exists today.
Like a year before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Not off the top of my head, but I can find it for you.
BlairWitch.com.
I mean, this was used. They used early internet forums to spread the myth. So chat rooms that people were in when in the late 90s, people were spreading the myth of the Blair Witch Project and also this movie coming out. So not only did audiences feel that they were unsure about the actuality of this happening, but whether the actors were really missing, because they were able to see that those police reports, those missing posters, they were unsure about the Blair Witch being a true legend.
That's hard.
They committed to this. This is the most
hardcore.
I understand that people will say that they have problems with this movie, and I dare say they're wrong. This is one of the most groundbreaking pieces of horror cinema in the history of the world.
I don't know if many people would disagree with that statement.
I think you would find a lot of people would, because they like to be contrarians.
Okay, well, the same people who are like, oh, I think the grass is blue or like purple. And you're like, there's shades of purple and blue.
There's one other thing that they did that doesn't get talked about, but I think was huge.
What's that?
In getting this movie pumped up as a real thing was there was like a 45-minute quote unquote documentary that aired on the Sci-Fi Channel called The Curse of the Blair Witch.
That was
I
after
don't
this,
remember
right?
that.
Yeah.
I thought it was after this.
No, it was before. They had staged interviews. They had fake archival footage, all of that stuff.
Well, they nailed the marketing.
Yeah. It's on Tubi right now. If you want to check it out.
I do want to check that out.
Yeah. But they aired that on the Sci-Fi Channel. And I think that kind of got lost because everybody's like, oh, the internet.
Yeah.
That
I'm sure that went a
probably
long way,
really
yeah.
stamped it home. Like, because, maybe even then people were like, the internet's new. Maybe it's fake.
Can't trust it.
But, hey, this documentary on the Sci-Fi Channel, holy shit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's real.
So it's got an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, 81 on Metacritic. Roger Ebert loved it, by the way. He really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes isn't a real metric, though.
I'm just giving the information.
That's fair.
I don't have much more to share about this movie. I think it's time we rate this bad boy or bad witch.
I wanted to throw out there, have y'all seen the Scooby-Doo Blair Witch Project?
It was like a parody, right?
No.
It was like a 2.5 minute Cartoon Network version of it that was deeply upsetting to people because it was genuinely scary. I dare say it was about the same equivalent, like fear factor as this.
This Scooby-Doo Blair Witch Project?
I have it up.
That's what you're saying people found genuinely scary?
I mean, I think they found it as equally scary as this movie. Scooby-Doo.
The cartoon dog, Scooby-Doo.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying I agree with it or not.
Confused.
It is called Scooby-Doo : Blair Witch Project. It was an actual Cartoon Network thing. And it made millions of kids upset. It was very controversial
Interesting.
around the early thousands.
I'll watch it. Maybe we'll review it.
It's like 2 minutes long.
It's called the Scooby-Doo Project.
Okay.
It was a Cartoon Network Halloween special.
It's 2 minutes long?
It's like 2-something minutes long.
Kids are stupid.
It aired like October of 1999, so like 3 months later. I thought it was
Okay.
years later. I guess not.
I also thought it was years later, but
Well, what do we think? Do we want to do a final rating?
let's hit it up.
All right. Who wants to start? Nels, you go ahead.
Out of what?
Out of 5
Children's
rock piles.
Ooh. What do they call them though? Don't they have a term?
I think Cairns. Is that what it is?
I think it is. Yeah, CAIRNS.
I
Cairns.
feel like that's not going to play well audibly.
Well, we can rate it off of Karens.
Out of 5
Hanging stick figures.
stick figures.
Hanging
Blair Witch figures.
Blair Witch figures. Okay. At the time, this was the scariest movie I'd ever seen. It has been surpassed since.
By what?
Do we just want to spoil that now?
No.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
I do.
What your number 1 is?
The Ring.
Oh, that's a good choice.
At the time, or when you first watched it, or to date?
At the time, Blair Witch was the scariest movie I'd seen. When I saw this in the theater.
And then you saw The Ring, and that became number 1. Is it still number 1?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say so. And I'd still say this is still scary. The thing about it is when you watch it the first time, it's terrifying because that's very much what you don't see in the psychological horror.
Mm-hmm.
But when you watch it again and you know nothing is there, it's like a different movie.
Yeah.
It's still good. You still get that human element and the psychological breakdown, but the scares aren't as in your face, I think. It's not in the back of your mind of like, what is that? 'Cause you're like, that's nothing. You know that's nothing. So the groundbreaking stuff, all of that, I do agree with Colin a little bit. I wouldn't say it's lucky, but the timing of when this came out with the internet being new, taking advantage of all that, brilliant, one of the most brilliantly marketed movies ever. I don't think that can be debated at all. As far as like an actual movie and the rewatchability, I will give it 4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
Out of
4.5 Blair Witch figures out of 5.
I have had quite a bit of trouble trying to rate this bad boy. I thought if I had watched it in 99, it would be very different. I thought if I had watched it in theaters, let alone in 99, it'd be very different. And then I tried to think about when I first and last watched it in 2013, it'd be pretty different. Watching it now is really tough on me. I agree, it's undeniably a genre-defining landmark of viral marketing. It does reveal a brilliant concept that doesn't quite hold up in terms of pure viewing experience. Its highs are incredibly high and chilling. There's a minimalist atmosphere. There's a masterclass in execution of psychological dread. It relies heavily a la Carol, like I was talking about earlier, what you don't see. However, its big lows are that it's agonizingly slow. The narrative is paced in a dizzying handheld camera aesthetic that feels more nauseating than tense. It doesn't age well to me. While it absolutely hits incredibly hard in 99, and one audience believed, to both of your points, that it was true found footage, that's just not the case anymore. I think it's been reduced to an interesting cultural artifact. I think that as a first-time viewer, it's a bit of a tough sell unless you look at it like from a film history perspective and you love that kind of stuff. If you've never seen it before versus haven't seen it in forever, it's hard to appreciate the experiment. I'm trying to review it right now in 2026. It's really hard. I respect it as being a landmark that it is, but for watching it right now in 2026, I'm giving it a 2.25 stars.
Good Lord.
2.25 what?
Oh, sorry. 2.25 Blair Witch dolls out of 5 Blair Witch dolls.
Stick figures.
Stick figures.
Stick figure dolls.
Out of 5.
2.25. Wow.
I love the idea of it. I loved it the first time I watched it. It's hard to revisit.
Okay. Well, to me, this is by far the scariest movie of all time. I have struggled to find one that comes close, and I only have one that even scratches the surface still to this day. I think it's it's a masterclass in creating dread. It understood something that most horror movies miss, and you brought this up. You know, what you imagine is way scarier than anything that you ever see. Instead of relying on, you know, monsters, jump scares, expensive effects, it creates that fear and dread through realism. Atmosphere of the woods is its own character throughout this movie. Isolation and psychological breakdown. We start to see the woods and the isolation just kind of completely break down their psyches. The improvised dialogue, I think, gets understated. I don't think that people talk about that nearly enough, especially Heather's speech near the end. The exhausted performances, the fact that they're not sleeping much for 8 days in the woods, getting less and less food.
Which
and they're
sucks.
Still, yeah. And they're still able to maintain the level of professionalism to create such a masterpiece. Shaky handheld cameras I find to be groundbreaking and not nauseating, but that could just be a physical response. I can't, you know, people can't control motion sickness. I understand that. The fact that they did so much marketing to make people believe that it was real, and so many people did believe that it was real, is still a cultural – moment in time that I think needs to be paid attention to for a long time. it didn't just scare people. In my opinion, this movie completely changed horror filmmaking, internet movie marketing, and the found footage genre forever, all while being made roughly for the cost of a new SUV.
In 1999.
Yeah, 1999. Not for today.
Yeah.
I hate to do this because it's my movie, and I feel like I've rated my movies pretty high, but this is a 5 out of 5 stick figure Blair Witch things out of 5.
It's your thing. You can't even say it.
I know. I didn't like
We're
it.
just throwing numbers out there. Who cares? You're
I know.
good.
This to me is not.
You can give it
ever-
a 6 if you want.
You should pick a movie you hate next time.
Hey, I picked
Truman
a movie
Show.
I hate.
Yeah, well, okay, that's your
Truman
pick.
Show.
All right, so next week, tune in.
Well, thanks guys for this week's episode of the Blair Witch Project. We have gone way long. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you go out and see it, because we do think everybody should see it at least once.
Tell us what you think about our opinions.
Yeah.
Because we're probably way wrong.
Yeah. We're on the HSTIF podcast on all the socials. We have an old 1999 website still up somewhere. Internet Archive.
Nels, you said last week that you got us on MySpace. So
Yeah.
go ahead and check us out on MySpace. We're
Right.
friends with Tom.
We're friends with
for
Tom.
like, it's a pretty big deal.
I put up posters around town.
Nice.
So
They did say missing cat, but that's just because we talked about Alf last week.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Join us next week when we talk about a movie that you will see teased on our socials, and let us know what you think.
hold on, guys. What is that? What the heck is that?
What the?